Okay, let's go over the Gavin Newsom thing. Okay, so this was posted 3 hours ago. Governor Gavin Newsom sits down with Jon Favreau to talk about California's response to devastating Los Angeles fires. Dude, the state's on fire. Your biggest city, your most important economic driver is on fire, and you went to go do a podcast with Jon Favreau?
I'm Jon Favreau. We are driving back from the Emergency Response Command Center in Malibu, where I just sat down with Governor Gavin Newsom to talk about the LA fires. The governor's team reached out to us.
Oh, that's worse. That's worse. This wasn't a, we managed to get to a area and convinced him to sit down for an interview. They invited the Pod Johns on. Oh my God.
Governor Newsom, welcome back to Pod Save America.
Good to be with you under difficult circumstances.
Very. We are recording this Friday afternoon at the Command Center in Malibu. Just before we started recording, you invited Donald Trump to come here to Los Angeles, see the devastation. You said the hundreds of thousands of Americans displaced from their homes and fearful for the future deserve to see us all working together in their best interests, not politicizing a human tragedy and spreading disinformation from the sidelines.
I'm glad Governor Gavin Newsom's hair was well maintained during this. Sorry, just a personal thing. His hair is still in villain mode. He always looks like he's scheming. Yeah, very villain coded.
So this is after Trump blamed you for the fires. He says it's the fault of water mismanagement. Your initial response to that was, I have a lot of thoughts and I know what I want to say. I won't.
Yeah.
It seems like you're trying to walk a very fine line here, extending an open hand to Trump as you signed your letter.
Yeah.
But also calling him out for spreading disinformation. Is that because you have concerns that he might withhold disaster assistance when he becomes president?
He's been pretty straightforward about that. He's tried to do it in the past.
Watch out, dog. That's our future president. I need the Anna Kasparian soundbite at the, no, what are you doing, Jank? No.
He's not just done it here in California. He's done it in states all across the country. I mean, he did it in Puerto Rico. He did it even in Utah. He did it in Connecticut.
What's the disinformation you were referring to in the letter? And what is the correct information?
The president-elect was saying about state water project and the Delta smelt somehow being culpable of somehow leading to some of the challenges that we face down here was it's words. It's a salad. It's the form and substance of fog. It's made up. It's delusional. And it's a consistent mantra from Trump going back years and years and years. And it's reinforced over and over and over within the right wing. And so it's become gospel, and it's so profoundly ignorant. And yet he absolutely believes it. It's not an ignorance on his part. It's sort of an indelible misinformation that he sort of manifested a falsehood. And he decided to bring it into this crisis in a profoundly demeaning and damaging.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. The very first topic he starts to go over is Donald Trump. I'm honestly surprised that you didn't spend the first 5 minutes glazing Joe Biden, which is going to happen. It's going to happen next. Watch. He's going to move into, and here is why the leadership of the Biden administration, even in his final days, has been stalwart.
At a time when we're quite literally, and I say literally because second before I was here, I just got the latest briefing, we're bringing cadaver dogs out there in some parts of the fire where people are still potentially missing, and we've already lost 11 lives.
Yeah. People are devastated.
Which is why you're on the Pod Johns right now? They're looking for missing and dead people, and you're on with Pod Save America. News conference saying okay, here's an update. Here's what we're currently working on. Here's what you need to know. Follow this for, updates and information. I don't know, do an interview on the CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever it is, mainstream media, KTLA, ABC. This is why people hate liberals. This is literally why people hate liberals. When Donald Trump does this, when Donald Trump calls into his favorite, Fox and Friends in the morning, when he calls in, the hogs love that. The hogs love that shit so much. They love his tweets. They love his little like media appearances. People hate this about liberals because no one expects the Republicans to be serious. There is still an expectation for the Democratic Party to be kind of like the grown-ups in the room. And this is not it. Not to live out, but the Dems do also have to fight the propaganda spewed by the right wing. Cool. This is not how you do that.
But from your perspective, is there anything the state of California could have done to be better prepared for a fire like this? And is there anything the state could have done better or faster in responding?
Well, you always have to have some humility and grace as it relates to that question. And I'm very self-critical in that respect. And so we, in every incident, do an after-action report. And we will take a sober and reflective look at that. But let's just look at the facts. Just in the last few years I've been governor, we've close to doubled the investments in CAL FIRE, the state firefighting force. Close to double the number of personnel. We've increased the size of our aerial fleet by 16 new helicopters. We were finally able to
double the force of your personnel with prisoners. Like, yeah, you've doubled it by putting more people in jail.
From the Pentagon, 7 C-130s. We got the first one up there. You saw it up there in the CAL FIRE flag on this fire. We had pre-positioned Saturday, our state office of emergency service. We all got together before this event, days before the event, and we agreed to pre-position in 6 counties here in Southern California, hundreds and hundreds of assets. Let me be specific about that. On Sunday, we had...
Didn't the actual LA fire chief say the complete opposite of this? Understand the subtle lie. CAL FIRE. We've expanded the personnel of CAL FIRE. That's the state. That's statewide. The deception there is that the LAFD has been defunded. The LAFD does have a shortage of staff. CAL FIRE might have gotten more personnel, might have gotten more funding, but the LAFD did not. And unfortunately, I'm even seeing a lot of progressives, a lot of people on the left sharing some misinformation about the LAFD budget not being cut, trying to say, well,
if the budget increase was cut, but the annual budget stayed the same, then that's not a defunding.
That only works in regards to police, who always get budget increases. They're always in the positive. If you're talking about libraries, if you're talking about public works, if you're talking about actual EMS workers and firefighters, that scenario is a defunding because they're already critically underfunded. I was seeing people share that article that we went over, and I was very suspicious of it. And I was talking to Cinemarxism about it yesterday, and Maya, Claire, and Sean, and yeah, that's some bullshit. Talking to people who are like LA, Los Angelinos and LA residents that are working in the community. Speaking of Maya, what's up? Sports teams that aren't even in Cali are doing more to help than Karen fucking Bass. What is this? We're donating $1 million to provide support and resources to those who have been impacted by wildfires in Southern California from Houston Texans. Holy shit. Oh, it's a football team. Holy shit. That's awesome.
In this weaponized, back to the grievance of Trump, everyone else, there's immediacy. And lies travel the proverbial world.
It's not simply that, like instant gratification is getting in the way of like proper communication. It's also a history of failures. People like get real sick and tired of you constantly fucking up. Not even fucking up, just purposefully neglecting them. And then when the next big disaster comes, people are very short-tempered. They're not going to be like, okay, well, let's wait for all the information to come out. No, they're like, why the fuck are we still dealing with these problems?